ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన NSR ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ NSR ఇంపల్స్.
Hello students, now let us continue with the taxonomic categories. So in taxonomic categories we discussed about taxonomic hierarchy, species, genus, family, order, class, right, then division, then what we have studied is kingdom. So if you take the taxonomic hierarchy, we have different categories. So if you take different categories, for every plant we put in a particular taxons. So that will come under what? Classification. Every plant has its own classification. That's nothing but the last component of taxonomy. Okay. So whenever you talk about taxonomy, we already have studied. Who is the father of taxonomy? Father of taxonomy. You know that Carolus von Linnaeus. Carolus von Linnaeus, who is referred as father of taxonomy. Right. So here when you take the taxonomy, we discussed that taxonomy is related to systematics. So characterization, identification, right, and followed by nomenclature, classification. 4 components will come under taxonomy. Systematic sequence of study of organisms is called systematics. Systematic sequence of study of organisms is called systematics. One more thing, systematic is also speak about evolutionary relationship between organisms. So we talk evolutionary relationship between organisms. So systematic also speaks about how primitive organisms undergone modifications to develop a higher organism. How higher organism developed from primitive organisms. That's called as what? Evolution. Evolution, when you speak about this itself, is called as phylogeny. What itself is called as phylogeny. Phylogeny means evolutionary relationship between organisms. Phylogeny speaks about how eukaryotic organisms are produced from prokaryotic organisms. How eukaryotes are developed from prokaryotes. How multicellular organisms are developed from unicellular organisms. That is evolutionary organisms. Study of evolutionary changes. How evolutionary changes happens? Due to changes in the genes, and physically the organism has got structurally, functionally undergone several changes. It's called as what? Phylogeny, right? That is nothing but evolutionary relationship. Systematic speaks about phylogeny. What is phylogeny? Phylogeny is nothing but evolutionary relationship between organisms. So these two, systematics and taxonomy, are very, very important. Now finally, when it comes to the classification, as we discussed, we keep them in a particular category. Every organism will be kept in a particular category. So now let us talk about the table with some examples. So we are going to take the table. So we are going to study some examples, and let us see what are the different taxonomic categories do they belong to. So let us take the table. We need to write about the common name. For local name, common name, then followed by biological name, right, then followed by genus and to which family they belong to, order, class, then followed by division. So when we take certain examples under classification, let us see how they belong to different taxonomic categories. How you will keep the organism in a particular taxonomic categories means classification. You have come to know about a particular organism. You have come to know the name of the organism. How do you keep in a particular classification? Classification includes starting from the scientific name. Biological name itself is called scientific name. In that we talk about genus name and species name. Then we will talk about to which family they belong to and which order, which class, which division. So when you keep the plant name with these taxonomic categories, that itself is called as what? Classification, right? Now let us take some examples. So let us talk about ourselves. Ourselves means we are human beings. Let us speak about human beings. So let us write human beings, that's common name. What is the scientific name for human beings? So you can write Homo sapiens. That is a scientific name, we call biological name. So if you look at, we follow the rules and regulations of binomial nomenclature. What is the rules and regulations? First word we call genus, it should be start with capital letters. Second word is called species, it should be written with small letter. Homo is genus name, sapiens is species name. Right. Now what is the genus name in this? Again it's Homo. No doubt that genus name, first name indicates lot of importance. The one which has more number of taxonomic characters means genus will come, right? Then followed by we have family. So let us talk about family. So here when you talk about family, it belongs to primata. It belongs to order, human beings, Homo sapiens belong to the order mammalian, right. So apart from, here one second, this here family itself indicates the genus name, better you can write hominidae. One second, what you can write is family name itself is called hominidae. Human beings belong to the family hominidae. Ide. So it ends with the suffix. Family ends with the suffix ide. That is for animals. For plants, ACE. For plants, the family ends with the suffix ACE. For animals, name of the family ends with the suffix ide. IDAE. Right? Then it belongs to the order primata. Belong to which class? Class means mammalian. Then it belong to the division chordata. Right? So here very important. Family name is very important. Order is important. Class is important, as well as division is very important. So these things you have to remember very importantly whenever the question speaks about human beings. Most of the times in the final NEET we have these questions. So on the final NEET paper we expect the questions from the table. Okay, on the final NEET paper we expect questions from the table. So the table is very important. You need to practice the table, especially if you take, mainly you have to remember the family, order, class and division. Mostly the questions we get from these criteria. So what is the first one we discussed? Human beings. What is the scientific name? Scientific name itself is called biological name, Homo sapiens. Genus is Homo. Family is Hominidae. Order is Primata. Class is mammalian, division is chordata. So we took one animal example, that means ourselves, we are human beings. Human beings means we are also animals, right? Now let us talk about one lower organism. Let us take housefly, most commonly found organism, that is housefly. What is the scientific name for housefly? It's called Musca domestica. This is a scientific name. M is capital letter, genus. Domestica is species. So genus Musca, family Muscidae. So why we are writing genus again separately in the separate column, even though you write scientific name has both genus name and species name? It's because that if you remember the genus name itself is the name of the family, that is Musca is genus name, Muscidae is family name, Homo is the genus name, Hominidae is nothing but the family name. To remember the family name, we are writing one more time genus name, right? Next, coming to order here. So here we can take, so here whenever you take that, insecta will come, right? And primata, insecta will come, and along with that, first of all, mostly the question will come, human beings belong to which division? That is chordata. Similarly, housefly belong to which division means arthropod, arthropoda. Mostly it belong to arthropoda, right? And here it belong to Diptera. Order, it belong to Diptera. To which class it belong to means Insecta. Which division it belong to means Arthropoda. So we have the questions, you have to remember the order, class, division. So what is that? Housefly belong to Diptera. Housefly belong to the class is called Insecta. It belong to division is called Arthropoda. So I try to remember from here Musca, Muscidae, Diptera, Insecta and Arthropoda. So we have written one example, insect, one of the insect. Now let us take, this is an animal example, this is an insect example. Let us talk about a plant example. Mangifera indica. So you all know it very well. First we need to write common name. So better you write down what is a common name for Mangifera indica. We need to write first a common name. You all know it very well. What is the common name? Mango. What is the scientific name for mango? Mangifera indica. Okay, Mangifera indica, Linnaeus. I'll let you know one question here. Mangifera indica, and we write LINN. What is the meaning of LINN? Linnaeus. Mangifera indica, Linnaeus. LINN, according to ICBN, International Code for Botanical Nomenclature, and the name of the scientist should be written in abbreviated form. That is LINN refers to Linnaeus, right? Then we have what is called as Supportum, Supporterums. Supporterums is nothing but Mangifera indica, name is given by scientist Linnaeus. That is later Mangifera name is itself is modified with different varieties. What are different varieties? We say that different varieties of mango, Dasheri we say, and Amrutfal we say, right? Different varieties, right? Not getting that different names. You know, mangoes have different names, like some will be smaller, some will be sweeter, some will be used for pickle only. So different other varieties are being studied by other scientists. So the mango varieties was changed by another scientist, Supporterums. So Supporterums is nothing but name of the scientist who studied and changed the varieties of mango. So Linnaeus is the actual scientist, first scientist who has given name to mango, and that is being modified by identification of different varieties of mango by another scientist. Supporterums is another scientist who studied about different varieties of mango, who changed the mango varieties, who changed the name of the mango with varieties. That is Sapoterums is another scientist who modified the name given by Linnaeus. First scientist Linnaeus, next scientist Sapoterums, who modified and changed the name with the varieties of mango. Right, try to remember this. This is also very important. First scientist you have to write first, then if it is modified, the second scientist you have to write next. Right, now coming to belong to genus, you know, Mangifera. Then family, then it belong to Anacardiaceae, Cardiaceae. Acea is nothing but the end suffix for family. Family ends with the suffix Acea. Name of the plant, name of the family in name of the plant ends with Acea, end suffix. What is that it is? This is nothing but suffix. End suffix for the family is Acea. End suffix for family for animals is ide. Ide is nothing but a suffix. End suffix. With that we will come to know this particular names it speaks about family. Okay. Then followed by it belongs to the order Sapindales. Right. It belongs to the order Sapindales. It belongs to the class Dicotyledonei. It belongs to the class Dicotyledonei and belong to the division Spermatophyta. It belongs to the division Spermatophyta. Sometimes if they ask the question subdivision, then you have to remember Angiospermae. Angiosperms. Right? So here if you look at mango, it's called Mangifera indica Linnaeus sapotus. Mangifera is genus name, Anacardiaceae is name of the family, and Sapindales is name of the order. Class is Dicotyledonei. Right, Ine is the suffix name. Ales is nothing but end suffix name for order. Class is One, One. Spermatophyta. Phyta is nothing but end suffix for division. So whenever you find phyta, phy, phyta, that is end suffix name for division. So you know Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, right. So phyta refers to what? That belongs to a particular division. End suffix name is phyta, that speaks about a taxonomic category called division, right. So here this mango is nothing but what? It's a dicot. Now let us take example for monocot. Let us take wheat. Wheat is an example. So what is the scientific name for wheat? Scientific name is very important for you all to remember. Triticum vulgare. Triticum vulgare. Triticum is genus name. So once again we write genus name, that is Triticum. Triticum is genus name. Vulgare is nothing but species name. Now it belongs to the family. It belongs to the family Poales. It belongs to the family Poales. Order Poaceae. Oh, first we have to write family, right? Family should end with AC. So here the family should end with Poaceae. AC. AC is nothing but name of the family. CEAE. It's nothing but end suffix word for family. Poales. Ales is nothing but end suffix for the order. It's an end suffix for the order. Right. Then what is that class? It belongs to Monocotyledonei. Monocotyledonei is the name of the class. So monocot example we are taking wheat, and dicot example we are taking what? Mango. Right. And it also belongs to the same division, that's nothing but Spermatophyta, and subdivision is nothing but Angiospermae. So the table is very important. We have previous NEET questions from the table, and taxonomic hierarchy is also very important. Right. Now once again let me tell you the table. Common name human beings, biological name is Homo sapiens, Homo, family is Hominidae, Primata, its order name, Mammalia class name, Chordata it's nothing but division name. Then housefly. Musca domestica is scientific name, Musca is genus, Muscidae is family, Diptera is order, Insecta is class, Arthropoda is nothing but the division. Mango, Mangifera indica scientific name, Linnaeus is the first scientist who changed the name by second scientist for supportums. Remember this, Mangifera, Anacardiaceae, Sapindales is nothing but name of the order, class is Dicotyledonnae, division is Spermatophyta. Next, wheat is monocot example, scientific name is Triticum vulgare, genus name is Triticum. Remember it belong to family Poaceae, order is Poales and belong to the class Monocotyledonnae, division is Spermatophyta, subdivision is nothing but Angiospermae. Right, let us go with the continuation of the keys. Now if you take the keys, so keys if you can remember, identification, what are the four components of taxonomy? We studied characterization, then followed by identification, nomenclature and classification. If at all if you remember, in identification we studied very importantly the point identification of the organism can be done directly it can be identified by what? Directly it can be identified by herbarium. If at all if you remember, we have very important statement, identification of the organism can be done directly by herbarium, and identification of the organism indirectly can be done by what? Did you remember? I said this for previous class. By what? By keys. So you have understood now about herbarium. Now we have to complete what is meant by keys, right? So identification of the organism can be done directly by herbarium. Simply you turn the herbarium sheets, see that whether your collected plant is matching or not matching. Matching, you will come to know the name. That is the quickest reference system what we have called herbarium. Then indirectly you can identify with the help of what are called keys. Indirectly identification of the organism can be done by keys. Now let us discuss what are these keys, right? So let us continue the keys here. Generally if you look at, keys are analytical in nature. Keys are analytical in nature. Means you need to go for analysis of the plant. How do you go for analysis of the plant? You need to have all the characters, vegetative characters as well as floral characters. Then only you can go for analysis, analytical in nature, right? So what are these keys? Now let us study about these keys. Keys used to identify the organisms. Identify the organisms. Maybe the plants or maybe the animals. Now if you look at here, the key here, keys include here, it mainly speaks about identify the organisms. Better you continue writing here, based on similarities and dissimilarities. Based on similarities as well as dissimilarities. How do you identify the organism? By comparing two plants based on similarities and dissimilarities. So here it always speaks about, it includes contrasting characters. It includes what? Contrasting characters. Contrasting characters meaning what here? Here contrasting characters meaning two opposite characters. So I will write here two opposite characters. Here it includes two opposite characters. Contrasting characters meaning what here? Two opposite characters. When two opposite characters are there, then what happens here? A choice is made between two characters. Out of this, one character is accepted, and other character is rejected. What is the meaning of this? For example, here, how keys are used for identifying the organism based on similarities, dissimilarities? Try to understand the first statement. What is that? Similarities and dissimilarities. What is the meaning of this? If you can come back to the examples what we studied for family. For example, if you take Datura and we discussed that Solanum, Nicotiana. So these all are actually different genus. What I am trying to say? Datura is a different genus. Means it has different genes. Solanum is a different genes, right? And Nicotiana is totally a different genes. But different genus plants, different gene containing plant based on few similarities. We keep them under the family called Solanaceae. Yes or no? Of course, they are totally different. But based upon few similarities, together kept in the family called Solanaceae. Then coming to dissimilarities. For example, if you look at, for this also I will try to give you example. For example, tomato and potato. Yes or no? These two are totally dissimilar. Potato is hard, somewhat hard. Of course, if you make boil, it becomes soft. Potato is hard, brown color one. Tomato is red color one. Potato looks physically brown color. Totally these two are different. Dissimilarities, they have totally dissimilar characters. But still, because of few similar characters, they both placed in same family. Again, that is Solanaceae. Yes or no? Similarities and dissimilarities. These two are totally different. One is red color tomato, other one is brown color potato. They have some few dissimilarities, but still because of few similarities together placed under what you call Solanaceae. So key includes contrasting characters. What is the meaning of this contrasting characters? These contrasting characters called couplet. Try to remember, very important. The contrasting characters used in the key are called couplet. Couplet means couple, a pair of characters. What I am trying to say? Couplet means couple, a pair of characters. A pair means two characters. What are they? They are called contrasting characters. They are two opposite characters. What we'll do? A choice is made between two characters. One character is accepted, other character is rejected. For example, for this I will give you an example. For example, if you talk about symmetry of the plant, I am giving you example, symmetry of the flower. So what are the two contrasting characters you will expect? So it may be actinomorphic or it may be zygomorphic. It may be actinomorphic or zygomorphic. What is actinomorphic? radial symmetry. What is zygomorphic? Bilateral symmetry. So these two are two opposite characters, radial symmetry or bilateral symmetry. These two are contrast. Then what you will see here, you will accept actinomorphic symmetry and you will reject the zygomorphic symmetry. That means two contrasting characters are used for identification of the plant. A choice is made between two characters. One is accepted, other one is rejected, because here if you take example symmetry of the flower exhibit radial symmetry. So actinomorphic is accepted, zygomorphic is rejected. Then you will start writing about characteristics of the flower, right? So in the keys, each statement is called lead. In the key you start writing all the characters. Suppose if you write the statement symmetry of the flower is actinomorphic, that is one statement, description about a particular plant. Each statement itself is called lead. Each statement is called lead. A pair of contrasting characters is called couplet, right? How it is used for identification of organisms? Based on similarities and dissimilarities. So this is nothing but what we call keys. So keys is one of the criteria. It is indirect method for identification of organisms, right? Now apart from this, if you look at apart from the keys, floras, manuals, monographs and catalogues. Now apart from the keys, we have some more methodologies. They are nothing but floras, manuals, monographs and catalogues. These all are called as recording descriptions. These all are called as recording descriptions, meaning the information or the data, it is recorded, it is preserved for future reference and future study and future research. So apart from keys, we have even some more categories like floras, manuals, monographs and catalogues. If you look at catalogues, the better place for you all to study catalogues is library. When you go to library, we have different books starts from A to Z. All A letter books in one rack, B letter books in another rack, C letter books in another rack, like that. That means here catalogues indicates a systematic arrangement of data or information. Systematic arrangement of information about plants. Information about plants. Right? Suppose if I see in the library, if you go to, there is a rack called as Fabaceae. That means in this rack we get information on herbarium sheets. There are so many herbarium sheets are placed, and these herbarium sheets starts with first one includes a herbarium sheet, herbarium which has so many herbariums, which starts with the plant's names called A. What are they? Atropa belladonna, or you can take Atropa belladonna will be Solanaceae generally if you take. Arachis hypogea. You studied earlier. What is the common name for Arachis hypogea? Groundnut. Right. Similarly, Fabaceae if you take beans, that is Dolichos lab. Pisum sativum, pea plant. So A letter plants which fall in Fabaceae will be in this herbarium sheets, and next herbarium will be on B letter plants which belong to Fabaceae. C letter plants also available in next herbarium which also belong to Fabaceae. Next Solanaceae, next Liliaceae. So you find a systematic arrangement of information about plants. Okay, now coming to what is flora, let us talk about flora. Flora, it's nothing but it's for actual account of habitat for distribution of plants, So the place where
ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.